Hey, what's up? I'll be showing you how to fix a Miele washing machine that's showing an F1 error. What happens is when you turn it on, it shows you the F1 error and it beeps constantly. This is the W1 model, and I don't know why it's writing in Chinese, but you can see it's F1. This will work across many different models. The F1 error is the washer saying there's something wrong with the water temperature sensor or the circuit to that. So the water temperature sensor looks like this. They call it NTCs. And it's usually located at the front of the washer inside here. To access it, we'll have to remove the front, this panel, and this panel. And we'll need to use a test meter to test this out. F1 usually is like it means there's a short circuit either internally in the sensor if you're lucky, or if you're very unlucky, there's a problem with the circuit on the circuit board, the NTC circuit on the circuit board. So when you're diagnosing and trying to fault trace and find where the fault's coming from, just keep that in the back of your mind, that we're going to test the wires for going to this sensor, and we're going to test this sensor. There's some values that you're supposed to get at different temperatures, and we're also going to have a look at the main board, which is at the back. For safety, remember to unplug it, turn it off and unplug it. You're going to need to grab yourself a T20, T15, a multimeter, flat screwdriver, and some zip tie cutters. We'll first need to remove this top cover. To remove it, there's two screws, one on this side. They'll be behind this cover, like a plastic tab, and there'll be another one on the other side. The cover is like this, so you need to pry it out. We'll undo the T20. Don't take it all the way out. Once it's loose, use a screwdriver to just push this in, and it's gone inside. Do the same for the other side. You take this off, you slide it back. So you lift it up at the front, and then you slide it back. So you can see there's some hooks here. That's why you lift it up and slide it back. We're going to remove this drawer. You pull it out, and there's a orange tab there. You press it in, and you pull this out. That will reveal a T20 bit that you need to remove. The control panel comes off by just pulling it off. There will be some tabs at the bottom here, so you might need to lift it up a bit, and then it'll be free of those. You see these tabs, you lift it up and it comes out. There'll be a wire over on this side with a tab on it that you push the tab that way and pull the wire that way, and it comes out. You'll need to open the door and remove, there's a wire that's usually here that holds this seal in place. You look for the spring that's on it, and then you just sort of pry out the spring outwards and pull out that wire. Mine's removed at the moment. Then you'll need to remove this. I think it's a T40. And remove these. We'll remove this. There's just some clips holding it. It comes off. It's your door lock. Just push it in. And you just pull this out. You'll need to remove these two screws, one here and another one on the other side. To remove this panel, you lift it up and it should come out. This is your drum. The part that we want to check out and see is over here. Just make sure that you've disconnected power because there's voltage going there. You don't want to get shocked. At the bottom here you'll find your heating element, which is this, and that's your temperature sensor. So we'll need to check and make sure that the sensor is fine. If the sensor is fine, then we're gonna check if the wiring is okay. This wiring, now it's usually white. Someone previously repaired this, that's why it's black, but it's usually white. So you take this off, it's just a clip, you push and you pull. So you push it out and you pull it out. So firstly we're going to test the NTC to make sure that it's still working fine and it hasn't short-circuited inside. You'll need a thermometer to see what temperature it currently is. I'm just gonna see, it's about 12 degrees. Alright, so this thing, the NTC is called a negative temperature coefficient sensor or temp sensor because the range of the temperatures, as the temperature affecting this or the water in the drum, as it ranges from 0 degrees and increases to 100, the resistance reduces. So as the temperature goes up, the resistance goes down. So you can see here that it will range from 38 kilo ohms to 1.09, depending on what temperature you're testing this at. The proper thing to do is to get a little cup of water, or you can get a hair dryer and blow like air over this so that the temperature increases, and then that way you can see if it's working. Like as it gets hotter, the resistance that you're getting on here on your multimeter, see if it's going down. Now you might need to jiggy up something so that the wires can, like you can properly prod in there, like poke in there. Maybe you can have someone just hold up these into it for you and then you can test it. So my temperature is between 10 and 12 degrees and 15 degrees. I'm getting about 12 degrees. So I'm going to check if I'm getting something like between 23.4 kilo ohms and 18.6 kilo ohms. And then I'm going to heat it up and see what happens to the resistance then. On mine, I'm just going to remove this bit. I'm just going to cut it. It's already cut here. If you want, you can cut it. And then if you're good at soldering, you can just put this back together by soldering it. But I'm going to remove this so I can properly test my NTC using my multimeter. Alright, so this is how I've done mine. I've taken the connectors and put them onto here. You can see that, and I've connected to that. And I'm reading the resistance on this, and it's coming up to 5.76 or 787, but it's not good because it's a 12 degrees sort of thing. So I should be getting somewhere around 18, 19 kilo ohms. So already, like, there's something wrong with this. So what I can do as well, there's something wrong already, but I can heat it up and see if it changes. If it doesn't change, then it means it's faulty, but we already know it's faulty. I'm just going to do it to show you guys how this sensor works. I've got like a hot air station here. This thing goes up to 500 degrees, but you're not going to need all that. I'm just going to heat it up to within its range. I'm going to heat it up to within its range, between 0 to 100. All I can get is like 100. But as it heats up, I want you to see how the temperature change, the resistance changes here as the temperature goes up. I would have put it in hot water, but this is faster. can see the resistance going down as heat passes through it. You can see that. It's going down. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. Now, not many people have this, the gun, so just use hot water and the values should change. That's why this is a good idea to cut it like that. You can always put it back together. So the problem just doesn't end there. There's something obviously wrong with our temperature sensor. We need to check the circuit, the wires, meaning the wires, and the board, the main board. Need to have a look where these wires are going to on the main board. Because I can guarantee you, if something's gone wrong with this, it will mess up with the board somewhere where these wires go. So you need to trace where these wires go on the main board. Easiest way to do that is as follows. We're going to check where these wires go on the main board. Easiest way to do that is put your multimeter on the continuity setting and wrap one of these wires around one of the leads, and then we're going to go to the back of the washer and access the main board. We'll need to remove this back panel to access the main board, which is here. And to take off screws, that will be around here. There'll be about, I say 12 screws. To take this off, there's a hook here. So you sort of lift it out and this just slides down. There's a cover which you just pull up. There'll be clips at the bottom here which you need to push in, and this will sort of come out. But you'll see that there is a pipe at the top there that will make it a bit hard to remove. But you just need to unlodge that pipe, push it out of the way like that, and this will just come off. You might need to cut off like a few zip ties in there, but this will come off. Take some pictures, lots of pictures and videos as well, to remember where each connector goes. Otherwise, you might put the wrong connector in. So take a couple of pictures and then you can start disconnecting. At the bottom here, it's mainly your power supply. This is your main power, and these just pull off. Then you've got a couple of earth wires that you just pull off, and you've got a motor controller. This is a clip, one of those push and then you push and pull. So just be gentle so you don't damage it. Otherwise, you can just remove it from here and cut this off and then take the board off with it attached. This is for the heating, I think. Take that off. And the rest on top here is where we'll be focusing. This is where we have wires for the control panel, the door switch, the water. I was gonna test this one, might be on this. So let's see, there you go. I get that beep. That means that the wires that I'm looking for, the two wires that I'm looking for, are on this connector, and they are the outer two ones. So when you're looking at the board, you'll be looking where those connectors go to. So So you can see once we have got the board off, you'll be able to see where that came from. To remove the board, just remove the remaining connectors. You might have to cut a few zip ties, like there'll be one here, another one further back here, and then you slide this back and then it'll come out. Best thing to do with the connector for the motor is to maybe do it last when it's out of the washer. That way you don't damage it. Looking at the board, that connector comes over here, the one that had the temperature sensor on it. We'll remove the board from the cover. Just need to push in these clips and this will come out. That's the board out of its shell, and we're looking for the two connectors on this bit. The last two, 1, 2, are the ones for the temperature sensor. We need to remove this so we can closely inspect that board there. To remove it, there's some clips in there that you need to just pry out, and it sort of just lifts off. You put that to the side. On these last two connectors, this one and this one, those are for the temperature sensor. You can see there's a resistor here. It's got some burn marks there. And there's another one here. This one, it's got some burn marks here. And this one as well. Now, you got to test these and see what value you're getting on them. All these three were open circuit for me. So make sure you test the resistance between that one and that one, that one and that one, that one and that one. And I was just getting like 0. So that means that those need to be replaced along with the temperature sensor. So if you just change one and it doesn't work, it means you got to look at the board as well, because this is the circuit. So the washer checks the washing machine, the board checks that the circuit is good before it starts the washer. And these resistors will have different values. One way to see what the value for the resistor is that you have, say for that one, you can check the resistance on that one because they're similar. That one is a little burnt, so I'm not too sure what that is, but you need to look at another board and see what that value is. I think it's like a 1240, that's what it says on there. And this one's like a little blue one that's the same as these ones. It might be handy to just buy like one for parts, like a board for parts, and then you can just salvage parts of this, because I don't know how you can go on eBay and try and buy these resistors off. I don't know, you can't. You just have to find another board to salvage these parts off. But if you want to put a new board on these, you can get the model number. The model number will be here. So if all fails, the model number is here. ELF U1200, sorry. And yeah, you can just replace the whole board if you want. Just make sure you check all the other components and make sure that there's no burns, and check the resistance of your resistors and make sure that everything on the board is good. And you need a good light. Just don't use your eyes and daylight and say, oh, that's all right. But get something where you can really have a good look at what is happening. It's getting a bit dark here, but yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.